I think we are live. Let me just check this out. Okay, now we're live. There we go. Okay, hello everyone and welcome to the Live at 5. Before we get started on today's topic, which is MS is bullshit, learn the truth and heal, because only when you know what you're tackling are you able to heal. You have to know what's going on inside of your body so you can target the exact problem. And we're not given any of this information. So I'm going to tell you exactly what's happening inside your body, where it's coming from. And when we're at the neurologist and we get all these tests, we think, oh, wow, they must be looking at something that definitively says I have MS. So we're going to go through the whole diagnosis and what's actually happening inside of your body. And then I'm going to tell you exactly how to fix what's happening inside of your body so your body naturally heals. Everybody heals. As long as you remove the virus, you can heal. Your body is always in a state of healing. So this is the Live at 5 if you on Facebook, on the Minding Your Soul Facebook page. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's recorded in the, it's live in the Facebook group, Minding Your Soul. If you're watching on YouTube, great. They all get downloaded and uploaded to the YouTube. So Minding Your Soul in Facebook, if you want to join the conversation, watch the videos there, or stay on YouTube. It's there too. So if anyone's watching this right now and is wondering if it's going to be recorded, they're all recorded and they're all uploaded to YouTube. So this way they're just easier to find. You don't have to scroll through the group. All right, so I'm going to just make sure that they're just easier to find. You don't have to scroll. Okay, I'm on my phone so I can see the comments. Oh, hi, Grace. I'm glad you're here. All right, so okay, perfect. I'm live. All right, so what the hell is a differential diagnosis? When you go to the doctor and you have these symptoms, right? You've got numbness and tingling. You're exhausted all the time. Maybe your right leg stopped working like it did for me. The doctor says, all right, well, we're going to run some tests. We're going to give you, we're going to run some blood. We're going to do a spinal tap and we're going to do an MRI. And then we'll see, what's going on. So go to the neurologist, you get all of those tests done. It takes months. You finally go and you're ready. This is it. This is the diagnosis. This is the appointment where you're going to figure it all out. Sitting there, right, with his results, and he's like, all right, we got your blood work back, we got your spinal tap back, and he's looking at this, and you got your MRI. All right, it is confirmed that you have MS. And you sit there, and it's as if you've just received a death sentence. How am I going to live the rest of my life? How am I going to raise my kids? Am I going to end up in a wheelchair? Oh, and then he says, you're definitely going to end up in a wheelchair. And you have to go on this medication, and there's no cure for it. And, people, just be thankful people don't die of MS. And you're like, fuck, what do you mean? I'm looking for a little bit higher of a standard than just not dying. I want to live my life. So when they're looking at these results, your blood work, your spinal tap, your MRI, guess what? The blood work, the spinal tap, all came back clear. There is absolutely nothing in your blood work and in your on your spinal tap results that says you have MS. What happens is MS is a differential diagnosis, which means everything has to be ruled out. You have to go to the doctor with a certain set of symptoms, and all of these tests have to come back clear in order for you to get the diagnosis of MS. That's exactly right. Look this up. In the description of this event, I put the government health organization definition for how MS is diagnosed, and it will say right there, everything else has to be ruled out. There can't be any other explanation for your symptoms, so therefore they give you the diagnosis of MS. Now, the reason why that happens is because you have this collection of symptoms, and the medical industry wants to make sure that they cannot be explained. So they go to your blood work and they're like, well, she doesn't have any infection. Her blood work would show it. She doesn't have anything showing up in her spinal tap like an infection. So there's no reason for her immune system, her white blood cells, to be that high. Elevated white blood cells are a sign that your immune system is attacking something. So when they run the blood work and they run the spinal tap and they don't see an infection, but yet they see elevated white blood cells, they go, there's no reason why her body should be attacking anything. It's obviously autoimmune. Autoimmune meaning it's automatic. Your immune system is automatically attacking something. So they go, oh, well, it's wrongly attacking the body. We don't know why your body is producing so many white blood cells. So what the industry did decades ago was come out with this medication that prevents your body from producing the antibodies needed to fight infection. That's what the disease-modifying drugs are. They stop your body's ability to produce antibodies to fight infection. And you're thinking, all right, well, I still heal from, colds and stuff. So, why? Obviously, that's not true. Your immune system works on like a hierarchy. There's different levels of it. So, the bottom level is going to take care of your basic bacteria. And then there's another level that takes care of viruses. And then there's another level that takes care of all the big viruses like the flu and COVID. So when your body shows that there are elevated white blood cells, which is your immune system attacking, the medical industry went, well, we need to stop that. That's obviously the problem because we can't find an infection. So that's why the disease-modifying drugs, they attack the T3, T2, I forget which ones, but they attack that level of the immune system so you can no longer fight any viruses. So what is actually going on in the body? Now, let me just go back. The blood work is clear. It shows elevated signs of your body, your immune system attacking itself. Your spinal tap is clear. However, some people are like, well, they saw, it's a large word, the bands, those, I forget what they're called, the bands, and that was indicative of MS. That's what they'll tell you. What those bands are actually the myelin, the scarred myelin that has broken off and gotten into your spinal fluid. So you're like, all right, see, Janine, I have lesions, and only people with MS have lesions. Lesions is just a scary word for scars. That's it. You have scars on the myelin in your brain and on the spinal cord. Everybody in this world has markings on their brain. They all have scars on their brain, but not everybody gets an MRI. So that's why they're like, well, the clear blood work, the clear spinal tap, oh, and she has brain markings. So, this must be MS because we can't explain it. She has this collection of symptoms that they have said that is MS. All MS means multiple sclerosis. Sclerosis is the Latin word for scars, multiple scars. If everybody on the planet has scars on their brain, it doesn't mean anything. My scans came back exactly the same from the time I couldn't walk to the time that I was completely healed. Completely the same. Why? Because the body creates detours. And that's just the way the body works naturally. The body doesn't have one plan A. And if it can't get the signal through, it's like, oh, well, we're not getting the signal through. No, it takes plan B, plan C, everything. Your body will do everything to get that signal through. The only thing is it needs the energy to do that. So let's go back to, why do you have these symptoms? Why is your immune system attacking? What is it attacking? And why can't the doctor see that? They're finally, in the last year, understanding that the Epstein-Barr virus is in the body, and that's what the body is attacking. You'll see articles come out here and there. I don't know if they're ever going to change their medical science to say, oh, we don't need the disease-modifying drugs anymore. We don't have to kill the body's ability to fight viruses, because the body is doing and always was doing exactly what it was supposed to do. Protect you from a virus that the medical industry couldn't see. That's why you have the fatigue. That's why you have the heat intolerance, because your immune system has been attacking a virus from day one, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's nothing wrong with your body. There's nothing wrong with your immune system. It has been working perfectly since day one. And now the medical industry is finally seeing that is the Epstein-Barr virus. So why isn't the Epstein-Barr virus showing up in the blood work? Well, guess what? The antibodies are. Everyone who gets tested for the Epstein-Barr antibodies, it comes back positive. Okay, not everybody, but it's like the high 90s, like 96% of people have some form of antibodies for the Epstein-Barr virus. But when you get tested, the doctor's going to look at that and say, oh, well, you have the antibodies. That means you had a past infection. You no longer have it. That's why we're seeing the antibodies and not the live virus. So why is your body still attacking if you're telling me that it's not in the bloodstream? because the Epstein-Barr virus goes through 4 different stages through its entire life cycle. It goes through 4 stages inside your body. First, you get infected with it. So whoever was contagious, you came in contact with them. There was saliva exchanged, whether it was through a kiss, that's why mono is called the kissing disease, whether it's through you shared a drink, a can of soda, a straw, someone sneezed in your face, in your eyeball, that got in your body. You don't even know you have the virus right away because it doesn't do anything. It goes and floats around your body. It's like, okay, getting the lay of the land. And then it waits for an opportune time to attack. And that's always during a very stressful period of your life. It's usually well, that's why it's called the woman's disease, is because it's usually during our most stressful times, is either going to be puberty, getting your period, or giving birth, or going through menopause. Those are extremely stressful on the body. And the virus can see that, and it can see that you're weak based on the hormones that you're secreting, the stress hormones that you're secreting during those times. A car accident, a breakup, a death in the family, all of these things, if you look back to when you were diagnosed, was it right after a horrible something that happened in your life? So, after the Epstein-Barr enters your body, it stays there for who knows how long. It could be a year, 5 years, 10 years. There's over 65 different strains of the Epstein-Barr virus. Over 65 different strains. And that was measured back in the early 2000s. So now it's 2023. There's probably a ton more because just like COVID, just like the flu, there's a different strain. It's always morphing. That's what viruses do. So in phase 1, you've contracted it. It's getting a lay of the land. Phase 2, it's like, oh, she's under stress. Let's attack. And that's when you get symptoms. Now, depending on the strain that you have, whether it be mild or very aggressive, will determine what symptoms you have. You might be like me and have mono and end up in the hospital for 2 weeks, end up homeschooled for 2 months. I got mono the first time in middle school. I think it was like 6th grade. And then by 8th grade, I got it again. But they said, we're not even sure if it's mono. Your white blood cells are through the roof, and we can't find an infection anymore. Before they found the infection, because it was still in my bloodstream, then they didn't find the infection. They just saw the elevated white blood cells. So level 2, stage 1, it gets in your body. Stage 2, it launches the attack. While it's launching the attack, that's when they could take blood and they can see it, like the first time when you get diagnosed with mono. Now, if you have a very aggressive strain like I did, like I said, you're going to end up in the hospital. Or if you have a very mild strain, you're not even going to think anything's wrong. Maybe you might think you have allergies. You might get a runny nose, sore throat. It's not going to take you to the doctor. So whether or not you've been diagnosed with MS, chances are you have the Epstein-Barr virus. Stage 2, it's in your bloodstream. But guess what? As I began to heal in middle school from mono, go back to the doctor. Okay, doc, I'm freaking exhausted. I'm still exhausted. I can't make it from one end of the house to the other end of the house. I can't go to the bathroom by myself. I'm exhausted. Well, Jeanine, you're still healing. It's going to take a while to heal, but you no longer have the virus. The virus is gone. We've taken the test. You know why they didn't see it? Because in stage 3 of the Epstein-Barr virus, it leaves your bloodstream and it heads for an organ. Leaves your bloodstream and it heads for an organ. Whatever organ it decides to live in, whatever organ it decides to reside in, that is going to give you a collection of symptoms later in life. So middle school is when I was diagnosed with MS, and it wasn't until I was 27. I had Christopher at 25, 26, 27. So I was 27 when I was diagnosed with MS. I never recovered from mono. I knew that. I was exhausted always. And it wasn't until my right leg went numb that brought me to the doctor to finally get the MS diagnosis. So in stage 3, when it leaves the bloodstream and heads for an organ, it doesn't always head for the same organ. With people who were diagnosed with MS, it headed for the liver, the spleen. Now, with MS, there is a cofactor, a bacterial cofactor. Epstein-Barr is a virus, but the streptococcus is a bacteria. Where you have the Epstein-Barr, you have the streptococcus bacteria. that strep bacteria is either going to go north in your body or it's going to go south in your body. If it goes north, like it did for me, sinus infections all the time, constantly had strep throat. I couldn't ever get tired without getting strep throat. I always had sinus infections. If it travels south in your body, you're going to get the constant UTIs, the bladder infections, the urinary incontinence. That is a symptom of the streptococcus bacteria. Where you have EBV, Epstein-Barr, you have the streptococcus. They go hand in hand. Now, in stage 4 of the virus, there's 4 stages. In stage 4, it wants to ride your nervous system. Because your nerves are the freeway to all the different organs. So, the reason why it wants to live in an organ is because that's where all the shit is. That's where it can feed the best. That's where all the chemicals are. That's where all the heavy metals are. That's where it feeds. So eventually its end goal, its end game is to ride your nerves so that it could visit and go around throughout your body freely and visit all the different organs. And that's why fibromyalgia is huge, especially with people with MS. Later on in life, they get the fibromyalgia because that's the 4th stage of the Epstein-Barr virus. So what do we do? How do we kill it? Well, that's what we do here in Minding Your Soul. I teach you exactly what the medical medium teaches, because although I healed myself about 60% of the way before the medical medium released his first book in 2015, I knew my body wasn't attacking itself. I didn't know. I just felt it. It's ridiculous. It was always ridiculous to me. My body is not attacking itself. It's attacking something. It has to be. It never sat well with me that I was told, well, we don't know why your body's attacking itself, but it is. That's just not the way the body's made. And it just never sat right with me. So I decided I was going to treat my body like it either had a bacteria, a fungus, or a virus. And I was going to do everything that I could to kill all 3 of those things. So I started reading everything that I could get my hands on. And little by little, I got this information and I started feeling better. The first thing that I did was I did the elimination diet, and I eliminated everything from my diet. And I slowly introduced things back into my diet. So gluten, dairy, soy, I feel like there was something else, but gluten was the last thing for me to test back. So I eliminated everything, and after 3 months, I started testing things back, because after 3 months, the brain fog started lifting. I started getting feeling back in my leg. Things were happening. I'm like, all right, there's something to this. I tested back the dairy, nothing happened. Nothing outwardly happened. I tested back the soy, nothing happened. And I didn't want to test the gluten because I'm Italian, I'm Sicilian, and I'm like, I can't live without pasta. I don't know how I'm going to raise my kids if I can't give them pasta. So I tested 3, 4, 5 months later. After doing the elimination diet, I tested back the gluten, and I ate a bowl of tortellini, of course, my favorite pasta. And I was fine that day. I ate it in the afternoon, and I was absolutely fine. I'm like, great, it's not the gluten, perfect. Yeah, well, I didn't wake up the next morning. I slept for 20 hours the next morning. My then husband had to check to see if I was still breathing, and I didn't go back to normal or some level of normal for 2 months, for 2 friggin' months. And I didn't know what the hell was going on, but I knew it had something to do with gluten. So fast forward. So I started that in 2008. So fast forward now, I'm like, all right, there's something to the gluten. I'll remove the gluten. I didn't know about the dairy, and I didn't know about the eggs until 2015 when the medical medium released his first book. And he said, guess what, guys? MS is just the Epstein-Barr virus. You have a virus. I'm like, I fucking knew it. He explained everything in that book. He said, this is why you're sick, this is what's happening inside your body, and this is how you heal it. So what I did was I was about, I would say 60%, if I had to guess, I was walking. And you know what? I didn't fucking care if I never got the feeling back in my right leg again fully. I was walking. I was taking care of my kids. I was playing with them. So I was happy. But after doing what he did with the lemon water, the celery juice, the heavy metal detox smoothie, I went from 60% healed to 100% healed. I would say more than 100% healed. I don't know how to measure this, but for me to say I was 100% healed, that means that I went back to the way I was before MS, before I was diagnosed with MS. But guess what? That life sucked. I was always tired. I can't remember a time where I didn't think I was just a lazy kid. Everyone else was out there running around doing their thing, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm on the couch. I'm like, I'm fine. I healed more than 100% because all of a sudden I had this energy that I never had in my life before. And I thought, holy shit, this is what it feels like. I used to think that my sister-in-law was being just a bitch because she would always say, I just felt like going out and going for a run today. I'm like, she's lying. Who feels like that? No one feels like going out for a run. I had no idea that being healthy and normal meant, yeah, you do. You have all this crazy energy. So that's why I do what I do now. I teach you how to kill the Epstein-Barr virus. So in this group, in Minding Your Soul, that's what you're going to learn. It's not my information. It's the medical medium information. And it's my experience. Whoa, excuse me. And it's the Sicilian talking with the hands. It's my experience healing myself and also now healing the clients. I take everyone's experience and I'm finally understanding why my protocol is working more than all the other protocols that are out there. And the reason is my protocol isn't my protocol. One, it's the medical medium. But the way that I coach through it, and I finally have the confidence to say this, it's very different. It's not here, do this and do all of this tomorrow and you will heal. No one can change their lives overnight to be able to kill the virus. It is a process and you have to understand that you are going to get worse before you get better. As the virus dies, as you're moving heavy metals around your body to eventually get out, you're going to get more symptoms. And understanding that you're not getting worse and working with that mental bullshit that goes on in your mind that, oh my God, I'm getting worse. What did I do? I listened to this stupid chick on Facebook and now I can't walk. As I've seen, all myself included, and I did go down that mental downward spiral, or I took too long. I went too far into the trench and I took too long to get out. It was just a mental, emotional mind fuck, excuse my language. So what I teach is understanding the peaks and valleys of healing and that it's not linear. You have to go through the valleys to get to those peaks. And guess what? You get to a peak and there's going to be another valley. So the reason why I say MS is bullshit, because there's no such thing as your body attacking itself. There's a virus. Your body's been attacking a virus from day one. Your body is working beautifully and perfectly, and it's been protecting you from day one. So no more body shaming from the doctors. You no longer allow them to say, well, there's something wrong with your body. You need to get on this poison because that's the only thing we know to do. No, you don't need to. What you need to do is understand that you have a virus, and now you have choices. If you want to stay on the medication, you stay on the medication, but now you have a choice. Now you know that that virus can be killed. So how do you kill the virus? Well, that's why I've come up with, I've taken the medical medium information, I've taken the information that I learned over those 10 years, and I've also taken the information now from the 4 years of coaching clients on getting better and healing all of their symptoms. I've taken all of that information and I put it together in a protocol that's called the Starve, Kill, Detox Protocol. And that's because I'm not a creative person, and that's exactly what the protocol does. It starves the virus, it kills it, your immune system kills it, and then you detox it out of your body. You have to have all of those components working together because it is a very smart virus. It has to be. It's been around for hundreds of years and it's been undetected by the medical industry for good reason. It's a smart little fucker and it knows how to hide inside the body, and it can survive on many different things. It can survive on gluten, dairy, eggs, and all the chemicals and fragrances and heavy metals that we come in contact with every day. But that's okay. As a species, as a human, we are put on this earth to evolve. Our bodies can absolutely handle anything that we give it. That's how we were able to evolve through all the bullshit that we've been through. We have a liver, we have a spleen, we have this beautiful, perfect body that can evolve. But guess what? Everything that was put on this earth was put here to help us evolve. So that means all of the fruits, all of the vegetables. The reason why today we have to have a targeted attack and really focus on what we're eating and take the supplements and know exactly the fruits and vegetables that we're getting, the reason why we have to spend so much time concentrating on what goes into our bodies is because 100 years ago, the nutrients in our food were so much higher than they are today. It is ridiculous today how much lower the nutrient value is. So in 1956, UCLA did a test on a plot of land growing spinach. What they did was they tested the nutrient content in that spinach in 1956, and then they did it again in 1996. What they found was it took 32 bowls of spinach to equal the nutrient content in one bowl of spinach from 1956. So in 1956, you could eat one bowl of spinach and get all the nutrients that you friggin' needed. But in 1996, you would have had to eat 32 servings of that spinach in order to equal that one bowl. That was 1996. Imagine what it is in 2023. So all the shit that we're doing to our food and depleting it and all the chemicals that we're using, we are not evolving fast enough to be able to handle not only the onslaught of chemicals that were in this world, but also the depletion of the nutrients. So that's why today our grandmothers laugh at us and they're like, just eat your vegetables, you'll be fine. Yes, back then when they were kids growing up, that's absolutely what they could do. But today we have to have a very targeted attack on how to kill viruses inside of our body. We have to watch the chemicals that go inside of our body just while we're healing. So do I still watch the chemicals that go on in this house? Yes, I still use the fragrance free. I still won't use perfume. I do paint my nails, not lately though, but I still use certain chemicals. I don't fear them, but I give my body what it needs to get the chemicals out. So in order to understand how to heal, you have to understand what's going on inside your body. Once you know that it's the Epstein-Barr that is responsible for all of your symptoms, then you go, okay, fucker, now I can see you. Now I understand all I have to do is kill the virus. Now, it takes a bit of a transition to change your life in order to live a lifestyle that will kill the virus. Is it hard? No. Living this way is not hard. The gluten, dairy-free, egg-free, living on the celery juice, the heavy metal detox smoothie. No, that's not hard. Is it hard, or was it hard for me to transition into that lifestyle? Yeah, it fucking sucked. Oh, I wanted to eat pizza and pasta and ice cream. But guess what? I still do. But now they're gluten-free, dairy-free, and egg-free. And they are delicious. When I first started this, when I first went gluten-free, that meant eating chicken, fish, vegetables, fruits, and drinking water. Today, there's a shit ton of gluten-free foods. So I'm not saying to live on the shit ton of processed gluten-free foods, but I am saying you can still have your pizza, you can still have your pasta. It's just transitioning into the lifestyle needed. That's the hard part. Once you're there, listen, I had ice cream for breakfast. You know what? I don't have it often, but I use that as an example because you're not going to live a deprived life. You're absolutely not going to. I feel like if I could do this, anybody could do this. I was using a wheelchair. I was in bed. I couldn't get out of bed. I had to be taken to the toilet by my husband. My husband had to use the toilet paper for me. My pride was out the goddamn window. If I could heal, no one special. Janine, Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Listen, I've got my own baggage. I've got my own emotional shit that I'm dealing with. Everyone does. There is nothing special about me, and there's nothing special about anybody else who healed themselves from MS and can now walk. You absolutely can do it. I feel like, God damn, if I could do it, anybody can do it. I'm the most undisciplined person that there is. But I was determined, and I did have a very strong why. My why was my kids. And yeah, everyone's like, oh, yeah, it's my kids. It was a little different for me. My husband one day said, Janine, I don't want this life with you. I can't do this with you. I want a different life with somebody else. And he fucking left. And he didn't actually even say that to me. He just left a note on the kitchen table. So here I am, all happy that I'm healing. I was walking. I took my kids to Whole Foods by myself. That was a huge deal for me, right? I'm coming home and I'm like, I'm fucking exhausted, but I did it. I did it. And I walk in that day and there's a note on the table. I can't do this life with you anymore. I've moved out. How'd I go? Not only did I move out, but I cleaned out the bank account. Yeah, because I needed furniture for my apartment. And you have 3 months left on your car. Good luck with everything. And I didn't hear or see from him for months until the government found him because I went after him for child support. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. So if my fucked up life, if I could heal from this, anybody can heal from this, which is how I coach. I coach not, you have to do this, you have to do that. I go, nah, baby steps. We're going to transition into this. My program used to be a 4-month program, and I'm getting away from the 4-month program because I realize that is one hell of a commitment to say, here's $1,500 and here's 4 months of my life. It's not ready yet, but I'm changing the program so that you can just check in. If you want to do all this information, if you want to read all this information and do it on your own, you can. And then if you want to check in and just buy a coaching session here and there, great, it's going to be there for you. So I'm trying to make this accessible to every single person, and whatever the objections are, I'm trying to make sure that I have a little something for everybody, because I need you to understand you don't have to do this. You don't have to heal. You can continue taking your medication if you want to, but I do want you to know that you have options, because I think the worst prison to live in is the prison of, I don't have options. I'm going to be sick for the rest of my life. I have no choices. That's where I was, and that was my own personal hell. And I had no idea that I do have options. I did have options. I had them the entire time. I just needed the information. Someone just needed to give me the information that, you know what, I could do whatever the hell I want to do. If I want to stay on the medication, if I want to continue using my wheelchair, I don't want to do any of this. Great. Or, no, I want to heal. I want to get better. I want to walk. I want to run. I want to live the life that I know that I'm capable of living if I just had the energy, if I just could get my body to do what it needed to do. Well, guess what? Now you do have options, and it's very, very straightforward. You kill a fucking virus. That's it. And here's how you kill the virus, step by step. You don't go into it. You don't go into it saying, I'm going to do everything tomorrow. You evolve into it, hence the coaching. So all the information here is always free. If you do want coaching, it is available. Mindingyoursoul.com is under construction right now. So what you see right now, it's going to change in a couple weeks, and we'll do a full launch. And maybe I'll do another workshop to explain everything. So there is a shit ton of comments. I've been talking so much and so fast that I missed. So I'm going to scroll up here and tackle all of them. Monica, hello, and hello from Switzerland. So Janine, my day was super busy today, and I kept going all day without a break. It's 11 p.m. now. So thrilled. Monica is over there in Switzerland. She's taken all of this information and she just ran with it. Isn't it amazing, Monica, to finally have the energy to do everything that you want to do? I feel like there's nothing worse than laying in bed going, there's so much I need to do. There's so much I want to do, and you can't do any of it. Monica, congratulations, and thank you for letting me know. Sarah, hello. Hi, I didn't have a spinal tap, only an MRI, which showed multiple lesions on my brain and spine. Yeah, guess what? We all have multiple lesions, and not just we, as in people diagnosed with MS. We, as humans, we all have scars. We all have markings on our brain. It is not to say the only people who have markings on their brain are the people diagnosed with MS. No, everybody has markings on their brain. Go look that up. It's freeing, that information, because you're like, oh, not everybody is disabled. Not everybody is in a wheelchair, and they have brain markings too. So we're removing the objectives in our brain. We're removing that, oh, well, this is why I can't walk, because I have brain markings. Nope, that's not the reason why. You can't walk because the signal's not going through, because it doesn't have the energy to go around the scar. You give your body that energy to go around the scar, and it will. How do you do that? You kill the virus, because right now your body is fighting a virus that's trying to take you down 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Once you bring down that viral load, you are going to feel that energy, and you're going to start to get the sensation back as your body takes that detour. Sarah, thank you for that. Pam says, same. Erica, hello, everybody. Tanis, hello, how are you? Erica says, oh, wow, that makes sense regarding the meds, killing everything. Shooting in the dark. The meds never made sense to me, right? Because even the doctors are like, yeah, no, it's not a cure. It just slows the progression. Really? Because I don't find that it does slow the progression for anybody. And then when it says, well, how do you know if it's slowing the progression, or I wouldn't have had an exacerbation to begin with? They don't know. They don't have any answers for you. Now, listen, guys, don't get me wrong. I don't feel like the doctors are evil, and I don't feel like they're intentionally giving us misinformation. Doctors go to med school and are taught, and then they give us the information. They're only giving us the information that they were taught. They don't know this. The medical medium has like blown the lid off of all of this, and now the medical industry is finally starting to listen because of all of the people who are healing by treating their bodies like they have the Epstein-Barr virus. Now they're finding the virus. If they were to go in and biopsy all of your organs, they would eventually find the Epstein-Barr virus. It's not in the blood anymore. Grace says, oh my God, so sorry, but I have to go to bed. Hopefully next week I can stay up past 10. Today is not that day. No, I hear you, Grace. Don't worry about it. Look forward to watching tomorrow. Thank you for checking in. So if you're watching the recording, thanks for checking in. And guys, these are always recorded, always. So if you want to show up live and give me your comments and your questions, great. But if not, it's always recorded. And then I upload it also. It stays in the group, Minding Your Soul, but then I upload it to YouTube also, so that you can just scroll through and look at the topic that you want to read about or learn about that day. Erica, yes, an exacerbation after car accident, the reason why I stopped driving, right? It's always that that traumatic event that the virus goes, ah, she's weak, we're going to attack. It's always the traumatic event, whether it's for women, our cycles, menopause, our periods, a car accident, a breakup, a death in the family, anything that is going to elicit that stress response, that hormone stress response in your body. The virus is going to recognize that, and that's when it's going to launch its attack. And depending on the strain will determine your symptoms and how severe they are. That's why, everyone's MS is completely different. Why? Because there's over 65 different strains of the virus, ranging from very mild to very aggressive. And all of those strains, depending on what they're doing inside the body, are going to give you different symptoms. And on top of that, remember we talked about the heavy metals? Everyone has a different concoction of heavy metals, a different combination of heavy metals inside of their body. And get this, the virus feeds on the heavy metals and then it excretes waste. That waste is now supercharged with the heavy metals, and depending on which concoction and combination of heavy metals that you have will determine what symptoms you get. We respond, the poop is a neurotoxin and it's a dermatoxin. So the eczema, the psoriasis, I always go like this because that's where I always got it on my fingertips. That is the waste matter of the Epstein-Barr virus. That's the waste matter of the Epstein-Barr virus feeding on the heavy metals. And that's why normally we're going to get those skin irritations on our hands and on our feet, because like the medical medium just explained in his Brain Saver book, I'm pointing over there because that's where my medical medium books are. He just said heavy metals are called heavy metals for exactly the reason that they are heavy. They're literally heavy, and inside of our body, gravity affects them and they settle in our extremities. That's why we're getting the numbness and the tingling and the eczema in our fingertips and on our feet. Isn't that crazy? It all makes sense. Everything that he says makes sense. Plus, when you do his protocol, everything starts to clear up and go away. It is absolutely amazing. All right, back to the comments. It scrolled down for a second. All right, I'm getting up. I had mono in college at age 19. I knew I was sick. Stress moving to Maryland at 17 for college by myself. Lots of stressors. Diagnosed at 29. Exactly. You get the mono first, or you get some version of mono, whether you're diagnosed with mono or not, and then you get the diagnosis. I know. Wow. Fibromyalgia is the 4th stage of multiple sclerosis. Isn't that crazy? It all makes sense once you know what the virus is doing and the 4 stages. When I first learned about the 4 stages, I just was watching my childhood. I'm like, yep, that was stage 1. Yep, that was stage 2. You can watch your whole childhood and it makes so much sense. And it's so freeing and empowering to know you have control over your symptoms. You absolutely can heal. After all of these years of them saying, oh, there's nothing we can do for you, Janine, just be happy nobody dies of MS. Are you fucking kidding me? I want to play with my kids. I want a full life like everyone I see around me. I want the same thing. And there's no reason why I can't have it. I just didn't know. I finally found out. And that's what I teach. Jody, why are there different types of MS and some go dormant and some progressively get worse? Okay, so remember the different strains of the Epstein-Barr virus, right? Over 65 different strains. It's not that it's dormant. It's always inside your body and it's always active. But your symptoms are always going to be different depending on what you ate. How much food the virus has to eat is going to determine what your symptoms are and when your symptoms are happening. So depending on your stress hormones, it's different for everybody because one, everybody has a different concoction of heavy metals. Everyone has different stress inside of their body, and everyone is going to react differently based on their immune system and how it developed since childhood, since birth. There are so many factors that affect this virus, just like the flu and COVID, all of these different strains, one, and then all of the different ways that your body reacts to it, depending on all of the experiences you went through from birth until you got the virus. That's why it's so different for everybody. And that's why I always say, like, I would go to the neurologist and be like, Doc, my eyes are bleeding. They're hemorrhaging. And he would go, oh, well, you have MS, so, that makes sense. Anything that I ever had that ailed me, he would say, well, you have MS, so that's the reason why. There are so many different symptoms for so many people because of all the different factors that the virus feeds inside the body, what it feeds on, and how our immune system reacts to it, and how our body handles it. So, excellent question. Thank you. I should probably do an entire video on all the different ways that we're affected and why. That was good, Jody. Thank you. Amy says, oh, hi, Amy. I was diagnosed in middle school with both mono and streptococcus in my kidneys, but I have strep throat always too, right? Always. I couldn't get tired without getting strep. She says they tested me as a carrier and it always came back negative. My daughter and son are the same, strep always. So now you know where you have the strep, you have the Epstein-Barr. Where you have the Epstein-Barr, you have the strep. Now, just because your kids, like my daughter, she had mono, she had the strep throat, and now she's got the cystic acne. So the strep is very prevalent. We just started her, she won't drink the celery juice. So we started her on a whole bunch of different tinctures. She's gluten-free, dairy-free, and egg-free. Her skin is clearing up and her energy is good. So we'll see what happens. I think that we have this completely curbed because she knows she has to eat a certain way to kill the virus. And now that we can see what her virus, we can see the streptococcus, we're taking all the avenues. And guess what? Her skin is clearing up and hopefully it's going to be perfectly clear by prom. That's next month. Tana says, thanks for sharing about your MRI results. Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Wait, I lost you. Where did you go? Where? Oh, there you are. Okay. Thanks for sharing about your MRI results, the same before and after healing. I wondered about that. I'm always learning something new every time I hear you speak. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm glad you are. And that's the most important thing, I think, when I'm talking to clients and they're like, Janine, I just went for an MRI. And could you believe the MRI was exactly the same? And they're healed, or at least they're healing, or maybe they were healed. They go back and the MRI is exactly the same. The lesions are still there. We think that we have to heal the lesions. What we're not told is that myelin regenerates itself. It absolutely can heal. But myelin, in order to regenerate, takes a lot of energy and a lot of resources for the body to do that. The body goes, I don't need to do that. I can take a detour around the lesion. So the lesion is going to stay there and you're still going to get that signal through. The way I first came across this, it was later confirmed by the medical medium that this is exactly what's happening, but I was my own guinea pig for 10 years. So as I was healing and I was able to walk and I'm using my legs, anytime that I would get sick, I would lose my legs. I got the flu a couple times. Each time I had the flu, I could not walk for that entire week, sometimes longer than that week. I could not walk. And I'm going, I don't understand. And each time I thought, this is it. I'm never going to get my legs back again. And each time they came back. And I always wondered, like, what the hell is going on? It wasn't until I continued healing, got the medical medium information, and then got sick again. I didn't lose my legs. I didn't freaking lose my legs. I was the happiest flu patient ever. I felt like shit, but I was like, I'm fucking walking. The reason is, it's now been confirmed. When your body starts to take the detour, that's exactly what it is. It's a detour. It takes extra energy for your body to make that detour. Just like a new thought takes practice and skill to actually create that groove in your brain, that new groove. That's exactly what's going on when the signal leaves your brain and heads for, let's say, your right leg. If it gets caught on that lesion and your body has the energy to take that signal and go, you know what, taking the detour, I'll go around. It's a lot of energy. It's exhausting. So you have to have enough energy. You have to get your body strong enough to where it's not fighting a virus all the time, and it has the energy to create that detour and keep creating that detour until it becomes the primary route. So as I was healing, the reason why I would lose my legs every time I got sick is because that detour was not the primary route. It was still a detour that was exhausting for my body to take. So I would get sick. My body was too busy fighting something else, using all of its energy and resources there. And it's like, you know what? I can't take the fucking detour. And it would get stuck on the primary route, which would hit the scar. So when I did fully heal and continue to heal, that detour is no longer a detour. It becomes the primary route, and your body doesn't need to get rid of the scar because it doesn't even see the scar anymore. It just goes around, and that's now the primary route. So you can get sick, you can get tired, and you're not going to lose your legs again, or you're not going to lose whatever, you're healing, your arms, your legs, whatever. The medical medium has confirmed all of this because I was thinking, like, what the hell is going on? I don't understand. Now we understand how the body works, and it works this way for everybody. It's not like I was special or other people who healed who were special. We're all human. We all work the same way. Remove the shit, the body heals. If you're still alive, your body is going to heal. You get a paper cut at age 2 or at age 90, you're going to heal from it because that's what the body does. The body doesn't think, oh, well, I'm not going to heal this or I'm not going to heal that. The body wants to heal everything. It just have to have the energy to do that. And that's where what you eat and what you put inside your body, that's what's going to determine how much energy your body has to fix and heal the things that it needs to inside your body. All right. Stephanie Lockhart, Starve, Kill, Detox. Yeah, that's what I called it because that's what it does. I should probably have a fancier name, but it makes sense. Oh, Michael says I don't like scents because of that. Yeah, scents, the smells, the fragrances. Once I heard this line, once I heard it put this way, it changed everything for me. If you can smell it, the Epstein-Barr virus can feed off of it. And that doesn't account for natural smells, flowers, essential oils. If it's a chemical fragrance, if you can smell it, the Epstein-Barr virus can feed off of it. That's what changed everything for me and made it very easy for me not to have chemicals in the house because I'm smelling it, I'm feeding the virus. And it makes all the difference. Once you're aware, once you raise your awareness to what's going on inside your body, you don't have to work hard at making changes. You automatically want to make those changes because you know what's going on inside your body. It's very easy. If I said to you, if anyone said to you, don't use fragrances, they're not good for you. Yeah, there's a whole ton of shit that's not good for me. What am I going to do? Stop doing everything? But if someone says to you, don't use that fragrance, it's feeding the virus and that's why you have symptoms, you're going to go, oh, fuck, I didn't know that. Okay. Just like now with the gluten, the dairy, and the eggs, you slowly transition to removing these things from your diet and replacing them with things that still taste good, but don't feed the virus. You remove things from like your laundry detergent, your fabric softener. You remove things little by little. This takes months to do. This is an evolution. It's not something you just open a book or begin a program and you do tomorrow. It's an evolution. Every week, maybe you go when you're going grocery shopping, you're like, oh, you know what? Let me replace this. Let me replace that. You'll be surprised. There's not as much gluten in your diet as you think. Once you know what gluten is and where it hides, it starts with the education. Once you know that, then you're like, oh, all right, let me just go replace that. And today, there's so many things that you can do. Now, don't think that you're never going to eat these good things again. And don't think that you have to just eat fruits and vegetables. Yes, you have to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables because that's where the energy comes from. But maybe next week I'll do what I did in the workshop where there was that guide, foods that feed the virus, foods that don't feed the virus. And the foods that don't feed the virus are like in a green, yellow, and red kind of category. So the green are going to be the healing foods. You know what they are, the fruits, the vegetables, all the healing foods, the good proteins, the good oils, fats. The neutral foods are the processed gluten-free, dairy-free, and egg-free foods. Those you're going to sprinkle in your diet. You can't live in a modern world without eating a lot of processed foods. You just got to make sure that they're gluten-free, dairy-free, and egg-free. They're not going to feed the virus, but they're also not going to heal you. They're kind of neutral. They don't do shit. You put them in your body, you take them out. They're not feeding the virus, but they're not making you sick either, or they're not healing you either. The red foods, those are the sparing foods. Those are the foods that are super inflammatory to your body, and you want to sprinkle them in as, seldomly as possible. So, you know what? We'll get into that next week. Stephanie, I love you. She says, amen, sister. Deb, where are you? Wait, it just jumped. Hold on a second. I'm getting there. Oh, Deb says, happy to report that energy is great today. Week 6. Yay. All right, good. Deb is in the coaching program. We were just talking this week. And what we don't realize is before the symptoms start going away, your clue that you're killing the virus is your energy level. Your energy level is a direct link. It is a sign to how your body is doing in the fight against the Epstein-Barr virus. Because your body has been fighting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you're fucking exhausted all the time. There is no healing. They're surviving. Once you start bringing down that viral load and you start feeling, oh, wow, I didn't crash today. I always crash today at 3 o'clock. I didn't crash today. I'm feeling more energy. Deb knows we were talking about week 8, 9, and 10 after going gluten-free and introducing the heavy metal detox smoothie. Everyone experiences the shift at week 8, 9, and 10. Week 6 is when you start to go, oh, energy. All right, very good. This is working. So there's little signs that the viral load is coming down. If we could just unzip our bodies, open it up and go, oh, okay, good, the viral load is going down. We can't. We have to learn to read and translate what our body is telling us. And the way that we can tell how our immune system is handling shit inside of us is through our energy level. And then when our energy level starts going up and we can feel it, then we know the detours start to happen. That's when the detours start to happen. And that's why later, week 8, 9, and 10, that's when you see all the videos in the group of people walking. Oh my God, I've been in a wheelchair for 15 years. Or I've been using my walker for the last 6 years. And here they are walking. That always happens at week 8, 9, and 10 because the Epstein-Barr virus itself only has a 6-week life cycle. That's it. But in those 6 weeks, it's replicating, it's duplicating, right? So once you start bringing it down by removing all of its food sources and getting it out of your body through those detoxing processes, that's when you start to feel the change. And that's why week 8, 9, and 10, the 6-week life cycle, a couple weeks to get it out, weeks 8, 9, and 10, that's when you're really going to feel the shift and either start to walk, get feeling back. Big shifts happen week 8, 9, and 10. So Deb, thank you. Thank you. Oh, and Deb just said, P.S. walking is better today. So glad. Thank you for letting us know. And thank you for letting everybody know, because we need that evidence. We need the evidence that this works, because I can talk until I'm blue in the face. And, your brain is always going to give you those excuses of, well, Janine did it. Well, maybe that just works for her. That's why we share all of our successes in Minding Your Soul. MindingYourSoul.com. All the videos are there. All the testimonies are there. Go and read about it so that you can build that library of evidence for your brain, so that when you do begin to heal, when you go in that trench, you understand that that's normal. You're going to get worse before you get better. And I know what you're thinking. I can't afford to get worse. I know. But there's no such thing as starting to heal and just like going up and just getting better every single day and you're just healing. Like, I always thought that that's the way it was supposed to happen. So when I would go through the trenches, I just thought I was getting worse and I'd never get better. Now I understand what was going on with me, because everything is so clear in hindsight. And now I understand how to teach people and how to coach people through the process. You're going to get worse before you get better, but guess what? You're going to get better. You're going to hit that peak, and then you're going to go into a trench, and then you're going to hit the peak, and the peaks get higher and higher, and the trenches get further and further apart. That's how healing works. That's how it works on the emotional level, how it works on the physical level. It's just what we have to go through. And the more we know that, the more we understand that it's normal, the easier it is for us to go through it with ease and not fuck ourselves up with all of our horrible thoughts that we have a tendency to do so easily. Kimberly says, I have too many days that sound like your former life. Oh, I'm sorry, Kim. But my problem is emotional eating, despite my understanding of all of this. Oh, Kim, first of all, you're talking to the wrong person. Emotional eating, ice cream for breakfast, pizza more than just Friday nights. It was at Friday nights, and now it's more than just Friday nights. Pizza, pasta, ice cream. I really should be eating better, but listen, there is a way to do this program and still heal and still be able to emotionally eat, because I understand that there's no fucking way that anyone can say, okay, here's a protocol, this is what I need you to do, and just make sure that you never have that moment of, oh, fuck it, and get on the couch and just binge. Everyone needs the, oh, fuck it, I need Netflix and binging on something. I need a bucket of something that I could just sit there and mindlessly eat. Kim, that's not realistic. To think that you're never going to need that. I'm an emotional eater. We're all emotional eaters. Every person on this planet is an emotional eater. Do you know why? Because every time we eat, we get a dopamine hit. So we eat more. You need more dopamine because life is hard and it sucks. What do? You eat because you get the dopamine hit. Trust me. Everybody emotionally eats. It's just about replacing the foods that aren't going to feed the virus, and then just emotionally eat those. And trust me, these days there's plenty of foods that don't feed the virus that taste absolutely fucking amazing. I always say pizza, pasta, and ice cream because those are my three things. That's the Sicilian in me. But go schedule a free consultation. Let me set you up for success and tell you for how many times I have a hack for every food. You tell me what food you want, I will give you the gluten-free, dairy-free, and egg-free version, except cheddar cheese. There is no exception for cheddar cheese. Like, they have not made a dairy-free cheddar cheese that actually tastes anything like it. So good luck with that. I can't help you with that. But everything else I could totally help you with. Totally. All right. I'm glad you posted that. Dana says, the same thing happens to me. I literally cannot walk after every sickness or flare-up. That's exactly why, Dana. Your body is too busy. It's not taking that detour anymore. It's hitting those scars and it's just stopping. Dana, now you know why that's happening. Now you can understand, okay, it's just the virus. There's nothing wrong with my body. It's just the virus. Kill the virus, remove all the symptoms. That's how it works. Yes, it is that easy. Is it easy to make the transition into the lifestyle? No, it takes an evolution. It takes work. It takes intention. Every time we go to the grocery store or order our groceries, it takes intention to completely transform our house to gluten-free, dairy-free, and egg-free. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. But guess what? Once you're there and once you do it, it's not hard at all, because you still are able to eat those foods that are emotionally satisfying. Trust me, if I can do it, anyone can do it. Insane food sensitivities. That's okay. That's okay, Kim. Listen, challenge me. Schedule a free consultation. Let's talk about all the things. Your food sensitivities, that's a whole nother discussion. A lot of times, it's 6 o'clock already. Jeez, I told my daughter I was going to be half an hour. She's watching Jackson. I'm going to do a video on food sensitivities. A lot of times what's happening is those tests that say, oh, you're sensitive to this or that food, those tests are responding to the immune reaction that's happening in our bodies when we eat that food, and that food kills a certain bacteria or virus. And I'm not talking about the Epstein-Barr virus, all the other bacteria and viruses that's in our body. When we eat, let's say, a tomato, and they say, oh no, I'm sensitive to tomatoes, I can't eat them, I have a food sensitivity. The tomato actually kills a specific bacteria and virus. When that virus or bacteria dies, because the tomato just killed it, it dies and it triggers an immune response. That immune response is what the allergy tests are responding to. That's why it shows up on the test. So I'm not saying go ahead and eat all the things that you're sensitive to, but we could definitely work up to that. But in the meantime, whatever you are sensitive to, we'll work it out. The gluten-free, Jen Marks, the one who does the gluten-free cooking demonstrations, she teaches everyone how to go gluten-free. She also has a corn allergy. She teaches everybody. She has so many allergies in her family, and they still eat very well. So whatever food you want, we will figure out how to satisfy you so that you can still eat, and you can emotionally eat, you can enjoy your food, and still get that dopamine release every time you eat. All right, I think I hit everybody's comments. If you're watching the recording and you have any questions, you can still post them in the group here, because I still get the notifications. Oh, Mary, you're so welcome. She says, thanks for your guidance. You're so welcome. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being interested. And thank you to everybody for spreading this information. Don't be crazy. Don't be going out there being like, oh my God, da, 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 da. No, just be the example. If someone has a question in the group, or if someone has a question that you're talking to, you don't have to spew all the information onto them. Trust me, I did that, and people run really quickly. What you want to do is just guide them and just say, hey, listen, you know, Minding Your Soul, this group, they talk about how to heal. If you're interested, here's the link. Here's how to get in touch with Janine. Go on the website, do a little reading. Don't push people, lead them. And I feel like when we push people, they naturally tend to back off. So thank you to everybody who is so supportive, especially to all the new people in this group who have a ton of questions. All the people who have been in the group for a while know the information. They're so supportive in the way they answer the questions and guide them to the answer. And this is the only group that I've ever known that is not filled with victims. We're filled with people who are empowering themselves with information, and they're gently guiding and supporting everybody else along the way. It is an amazing group. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for spreading this information, because we are going to spread this information. We are going to make sure that everybody knows they don't have to be bedridden. They don't have to be in a wheelchair. They do have choices. This way, they can choose what they want, whatever they choose, no judgment. But just now that they know that they have options, because the worst prison is to be in a prison of, I have no choices. This is my life, and this is what my life is going to be forever. No, it's not. No, it's absolutely not. This is my way of giving back. I prayed and prayed for an answer to come to me so that I could raise my children, and I fucking got it. And there's no way once you heal that you can stay quiet. And that's what I do. And I hope that once people heal, they feel the same way, and they spread this information. And then we are going to spread like a new virus all around the world. So there is no more suffering. And if it happens in my lifetime, great. But hopefully we're starting a movement where we are going to change the world. And we might even do it faster than medical science catches up, because honestly, that's a whole nother conspiracy theory with the money and the drugs and everything else. I don't even want to go there. Let's just focus on what we can control. We can control the information that goes out there, and we can be the light. We can be the people that's spreading the healing information. This way, whatever people decide to do, it's on them. They decide to do it. We're all on our own journey here. Some people are going to heal, some people aren't, and that's okay. But everyone has a choice. All right, everyone, thank you for joining me here today. I hear my little boy screaming in the background. My husband's not home yet, so my daughter's watching him. So I'm going to go. Any questions, put them in the group, and I will see. Oh, and thank you. Wait, thank you for all of your support last week. I got on the live at 5, and I was like, guys, I'm out. I'm completely overwhelmed. I gave myself some grace. I stayed off social media. I read some books. Like, I really took some time for myself, and it made all of the difference. I got to do a video on that too, because my God, it's the hardest thing to give ourselves grace to do that. But once you do it, you really do come back swinging, like harder than you did before. So thank you for all the support and the understanding. I really appreciated everyone reaching out, going, yeah, Janine, take your time. You know, it was fabulous, and I really appreciate it. I love this group, and I love everybody in it. So thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Look forward to your questions, and I look forward to seeing you, if not before, on next week's Live at 5. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.